So we're going to take a look at example number 2. Now, example number 1, I finished off really abruptly, and I apologize for that. It was an issue with my iPad storage. That's where it was. But you got the entire gist of the question, hopefully, and we found what the actual area is. Number 2, we're going to take a look at here. It says that the blueprint for a house has an area of 4 square feet. So that means that the blueprint that we see is 4 square feet, not the actual house. So this would be our scale area. Okay, we're doing a scale area again. And it says that the scale factor used for the blueprint is 1/20th of the actual area of the house. So 1/20th is a fraction, 1 over 20. And this is going to be our K value. Okay, it's just our K value. It's not our, it's not K squared, it's our K value. Now to find the actual area of the house, we're going to use our actual area formula again, scale area over K squared. And when we put that in there, actual area is equal to 4 feet squared over 1/20th squared. Now again, you can use 1/20th as a decimal as well. You can do 1 divided by 20, which is 0.05. So if you want to use 0.05, if you find that to be a little bit easier to use, gladly go ahead and do that. I'm going to keep using it as a fraction, and so that in this case here, but you can use the decimal as well. So that means that our actual area is 4 divided by, and I'm going to put into brackets so that I can square it, squared. And that means that the actual house has an area of 1,600 square feet. Okay, the units stay the same there because scale factor has no units. It's just a factor of how much bigger or smaller something is. And so the units stay exactly the same, and this gives us our actual area. Now let's take a look at one last one here. This one would work really well if we were actually in the classroom, but you know, we're on the, maybe you have a big screen and you're projecting this on there, but the screen on Mr. Barkman's iPad has dimensions of 5.875 inches by 7.75 inches. Okay, and the image then is projected onto the large screen, which you've seen in class, and this screen has an area of 6,000, that should be a little comma, not decimal, 6,986.32 inches squared. What are the dimensions of the screen? Well, we need to find what is our scale factor so that we can change the dimensions of the iPad to the dimensions of the screen. And we're basing it on the fact that, let's say the screen is exactly the same orientation or exactly the same, it's similar size to the, or it's a similar shape to the iPad. So here we have our scale area and we have a couple of actual dimensions. Well, with those actual dimensions, we can find our actual area. So actual area is going to be 5.875 inches times 7.75 inches. And together, so that means our actual area is, just going to get rid of the equal sign there, 5.875 times 7.75 means that our actual area is 45.53125 inches squared. Okay, so that's the screen. So that's how many square inches are on the iPad screen. Now to figure out what our scale factor is, we know that K is equal to the square root of our scale area over our actual area. And so K is the square root of 45.53125 inches squared over 6,986.32 inches squared. And so that is our K value. Sorry, I did that backwards. You need to flip that around. So that I had these in the wrong spot. I actually have to twist them around. I put the scale where the actual should be. So our scale area was 6,986.32 inches squared, and over our actual area of 45.53125 inches squared. And again, the more decimals that we can use, the better it is. So we're going to do 6986.32 divided by our answer, and we get a K value, 86.32. Our inside here, it will be, K value will be the square root of 153.44. And take the square root of that, and that means that our K value is 12.39. Okay, so that would be our K value, and that's rounded off. That's what I've got over here. Now the question asks, what are the dimensions of the screen? So we have to use our K value for that, and then multiply it by these. And so we're going to get our actual dimensions is equal to, sorry, what are the dimensions of the screen? That's scale dimensions. Scale dimensions, get that right here, is equal to actual dimensions times K. And so to get each one, we would do 5.875 times 12.39. 5.875 times 12.39. And so that would be 72.79 inches, which is about 6 feet, and 7.75 inches times 12.39, 7.75 times 12.39 by about 96.02 inches, which is about 8 feet. So it's about 6 feet by 8 feet would be the dimensions of our of that screen. And so this is how we can determine what our scale factor is. And remember, when we do this, it's our scale factor squared. Okay, it's a comparison of the areas, and then we square root it to figure out what our actual scale factor is, and then we can use that in solving. Okay, and we always try to use our K value, which is the change of our dimensions.